In national news this morning, like millions of Americans, Congress returns to work today. Lawmakers in Washington have until September 30th to pass a bill to keep the government funded, though it remains to be seen if Republicans and Democrats can work together with President Trump to get that done. There's continued fallout from the firing of the director of Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, with multiple former CDC leaders publicly questioning the leadership of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Tina Kraus has more.
Congress returns to Washington today with less than a month to avert a federal government shutdown.
It's going to be passed exclusively by Republicans.
President Trump predicted a bill to keep the government funded might squeak through in a partisan vote. Last week, the House and Senate's top Democrats again called for a meeting with their GOP counterparts to help fund the government in a bipartisan way. Congressional committees are juggling several high-profile issues this week, including the House bipartisan investigation into convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's files, and ongoing fallout from the firing of CDC Director Susan Menares, which was followed by the resignation of other top CDC officials.
Something is wrong when politics rules science.
In a New York Times op-ed, 9 former CDC directors and acting directors raised concerns about Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s oversight of the department, writing, "We are worried about the wide-ranging impact that all these decisions will have on America's health security." Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is demanding Kennedy resign, though the White House has defended him.
Secretary Kennedy has been a crown jewel of this administration.
RFK Jr. is expected to face tough questions at a scheduled Senate hearing Thursday, while the Associated Press is reporting President Trump could be considering a 200% or higher tariff on pharmaceutical imports.
On Monday, one of President Trump's top trade advisors, Peter Navarro, expressed optimism that the U.S. Supreme Court will uphold the president's so-called Liberation Day reciprocal tariffs. Last week, a federal court had ruled the president exceeded his authority in enacting the tariffs, so the decision allowed for them to continue through mid-October to give time for an appeal to the high court. Yesterday, Navarro claimed that the U.S. world lost all sorts of bargaining power if the tariffs are struck down.